Peace, love, and light. This is Ashaki Mayama Rembe Ali, better known as the True Lioness, coming at you with a little short video. And, I had to follow my heart and what Spirit says to me. I go ahead and speak to you. So today I want to do a video on living authentically, living, a genuine life and what that looks like and how I came to walk into, step into who I truly am. So first of all, I realize and understand, most of us, when we were growing up, we were told, um, you know, who we were expected to be and what, our parents' expectations of us and all of these other things, but we never really fully um, took the time to really know who we genuinely are. Some of us just fail to embrace who we really are. And with that, it, can cause a lot of issues. And so, how I do, I always share my personal experiences as far as, what I went through. So for me, it's been a lifelong struggle to define myself for myself and to live my life as I choose. When I was young, it was pretty much a feeling of being the black sheep, the lone wolf, on the outside looking in. I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. I didn't feel at ease within my own family. The things that I liked and enjoyed, nobody liked. The things they liked, I didn't care for. The activities that the kids in my neighborhood would do outside of, like softball and kickball. And yeah, I'm real active. I always love to play those kinds of games, but I never really felt a part, if that makes sense. I always kind of did my own little thing and I kept it to myself, the things I really, really enjoy. Like for me, I'd much rather sit in my room and read all day when I was younger, and sometimes even now I get like that. But when I was young, I could stay in my room all day, just doing what I wanted to do, whether that was painting or drawing or reading. That's what I wanted to do. Everybody else kind of like, that's strange, whatever. I liked nature. I enjoyed going in the woods by myself and just being out there exploring. I was very all into exploration. I like catching frogs, just things like that. And most of my friends, thought I was strange. I was all about peace. Even then, I used to organize the kids in the neighborhood. We would go and clean the neighborhood up. A day I deemed, clean the neighborhood day or something like that. But I was very motivational. So people would go along with me. They just didn't know why I was doing what I was doing. They just bought into the person that I was. But I still didn't let all of my light shine as far as who I really, really was, because I felt so alone already. As I matured, I began to do things that were seen as normal, just so that I didn't always have to feel like I was by myself. But even so, I still was not happy doing what everybody else was doing or trying to do, because that just didn't interest me. So I was never consistent in that. Um, as an adult, after I had one son when I was 16 years old. And so it was all about him. And then I went through an abusive relationship, which I've spoken about before on my channel. And I was told I could not have any more children. Well, lo and behold, when my son turned 7 and I met my ex-husband, I had known him about 6 months and I was pregnant with my second oldest son, who is 12 years old now. And we ended up having 5 children together. During that period of time, I really began to quell, kind of push my desires to the side, because I'm mom to a lot of children. We were raising another, my son from a different relationship, his daughter from a different relationship, and our children together. And that was a lot. And we, married, and you trying to be Susie Homemaker, or that's what I thought. That's what was expected, and that's what I should have been doing, you know. So I stopped pursuing the things that I enjoyed, to be mom, to be wife, to do what I felt was expected and normal for, you know, me. I grew up Christian, and so my marriage was very shaky at times, you know, and he was very distant. And so I ran to the church in order to feel some comfort. But even in that, there was just something that just was not meshing for me, you know. I loved the fellowship and camaraderie and showing love to one another. I love to be taught, so I love to learn new things, but I did not feel that the knowledge and the information that was being given to me was applicable. I just knew there was more to what was being said, and questions that I had would not be answered or addressed because you know you got to hold to the script. So let's fast forward a little bit. In 2010, I cut all my hair off. And I wish I had a picture of what my hair looked like before, and I probably do somewhere, but I'm not gonna go through trying to look for it. Anyway, well, let's go to September 2010. September 2010, I started to feel like I wanted to do something different. I was not happy with my life situation. I wasn't happy with my marriage. I just wasn't happy, and I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to feel like me, if that makes sense. So I didn't go to my beautician, who I love. Her name is Phoebe, and she and I are still friends. I didn't go to her to go get my normal little, you know, cut and relaxer and all this. I didn't go. So I'm not putting any other relaxers in my hair. So I started covering my hair with wigs just so I could be so-called presentable at the job while I was growing my hair out. Still not really understanding what I'm doing. So then Christmas Eve of 2010, I looked in the mirror. At this time my hair used to be cutting a little style. It was cut short, short on the sides, and I had one side that was real long. That was a real, you know, style everybody was wearing. It was short everywhere, one side long. I had cut the long side off, and then I started thinking. I'm like, I'm gonna cut my hair off. Don't even know what I'm doing, why I'm doing this. Cut my hair off. So I went in the bathroom. I wet my hair and looked at it, and whatever was that was straight, meaning relaxed, I chopped it off. My hair was about this short when I got finished. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, mm, what the hell did I just do? But I said, yo, it's too late to go backward. I put my wig on. The wig was too big. I had a couple wigs. I tried them on. They was all too big. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to make this work. So I went and got some Cantu shea butter from the store, and I noticed my wave pattern. My hair was really curly, and I was like, "Oh, okay, you know, I'm gonna have to try to make this thing work some kind of way. I'm gonna be looking crazy." So put it on my hair, and I'm like, this is it. So when I got ready to back to work, I was really apprehensive, but I was well received. I was like, wow, you know, what happened, or you know, why you cut your hair or whatever. And I was like, yo, I really don't know, but this is my natural hair texture. I don't have any chemicals in my hair, and I'm just gonna try it and see. I'm gonna grow it out like this. So that's what I did, and I noticed I started changing at that point when I cut my hair off. So I got pregnant shortly after I cut my hair with my last son. He's 5 years old now. And my marriage was really falling apart. My ex-husband got in trouble, ended up being sent to prison shortly after I gave birth to our last son. And when my baby was about 2 weeks old, I twisted my hair up. I put some two-strand twists in my hair. And then, you know, how it is being a busy mom. You already have 5 children. Then you got number 6. He's a newborn baby. You breastfeeding. You working full time. I was in college at the time trying to finish up my undergrad. It was a lot going on. So I twisted up my hair and I never took it out. That's how I started my locks. Um, so I graduated from college in December of 2011. with my undergraduate degree in business administration. And May, my son's father was sent, my children's father was sent to prison, my ex-husband. And so it was just me and my kids. So I really had to learn to be tough, and it was very hard. It was very difficult. Financially, I was in a mess, with legal fees and all these things. I just was really, really struggling, but it made me kind of really look at my life as far as who am I? You know what I mean? What am I doing? Who am I? Um, Over the next 2 years, well, 1 year, from 2012 to 2013, I still was like touch and go, real apprehensive about doing what I really wanted to do, but feeling pulled to make changes in my life and to start taking more risk, and to get back in touch with that little girl that liked to be in the woods hugging trees and catching frogs, basically. So I ended up getting another job in a different state. We moved. And when I got away from what was my normal situation, I really began to move more and more and more into myself and to feel myself and to feel comfortable with me. And so, that's been that's going on 4 years ago. And the person 4 years ago versus the person today, they're like strangers still, even though, I don't pity who I was. I just wish that I would have had the courage a long time ago to embrace myself and be more authentic to start with. But everything happens in its own timing, and I understand that. I understand it, I understand it, and I overstand that. Um, I had to go through and experience some things before I was fully able to be courageous enough to say, you know what? This is a Shocky. This is not Andrea. This is a Shocky, and this is how I want to live my life. Currently, I'm in a boot camp, a business boot camp. And let me tell you something. This boot camp, I'm only in the second week, but I promise you, it has given me so much so far as clarity on what I want my life to look like. I've never been clearer. I've also realized, as emotional as I can be at times, I'm also I can be very task oriented when need be, and I can boss up when need be. And because of certain situations and circumstances and relationships that I'm having to end or whatever, I've had to really boss up. But I'm loving it because I feel in control. Nobody's dictating to me. Nobody's writing a script for my own life. And one of my favorite quotes that I've posted on Facebook, social media many times, but I don't think I ever embodied it until recently. And it's a quote by Audre Lorde. And the quote, and I'm going to pull it up just so that I don't mess up. It says, if I did not define myself for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. And that is exactly my point. I can't be everything to everybody if I'm nothing to myself. I can't walk and move into my own destiny if I'm so concerned with fitting into a mold that I did not create, I did not build, and neither can you. A lot of us are walking around depressed and overly anxious and suffering from heart disease and suffering from high blood pressure and suffering and just, you know, feeling like feeling so hopeless. And the reason being is we live in a life that we don't want. We live in a life that we think we're supposed to live, or we trying to be somebody that we're not. It doesn't matter what your mother wanted for you or your dad think you should have done. You have to be the person that you came to be. My whole belief is this, that we as spiritual people, we are spirit first. This body is what we chose. We chose to come to earth, this school, if you will, to learn. We didn't come here for someone to give us a description, like a job description, and say, okay, Thomas Moore, you are going to be blah, 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 and this is what you're going to do, and you're going to be happy about it. Absolutely not. We came here to live authentic lives and live. You can't live abundantly if you're living for somebody else. I'm learning that. The reason why I have not reached the level of abundance that I want and that I can see that I deserve is because I've been following a path that is not my own. You know, and I've realized that, the innate gifts that we are born with, everybody's born with gifts. They are solely given to us so that we can be who we came here to be. You will find joy and peace in living that way. I have found so much peace until, not to say I cannot be shaken, because we all can be shaken at our core, depending upon, what the situation, circumstances is. However, I'm so much more able to just take a deep breath and take a step back than to be reactionary. I used to be very reactionary. Now, not so much. It's not that serious because I know without a shadow of a doubt I'm on the cusp of walking into my true life and what I want and what I'm supposed to have and what I deserve. And you can do the same thing. So what I encourage you to do is to be genuine, be real, be authentic about yours. So what if people don't agree with, what your lifestyle, if you out here and you're not hurting people, you're not murdering anybody, you just want to live. If you want to get up at 4 a.m. and cut on music and dance around your living room, damn it, do it. And you should be able to do so. And if the people around you do not support you, then you may have to, subtract yourself from the equation. That's what I'm doing. And I have peace with it because I know and I understand that that's necessary for my growth, and it's also necessary for my sanity and peace. And peace is so priceless. Peace is priceless, and I won't give it away to anyone. Will not allow anybody to take it from me. I won't. Done it long enough. Be clear. Take time, meditate, and get some clarity. And if you don't know who you are, 9 times out of 10, if you look back on your life to when you were a youth, you were living more authentically when you were a youth than you are now. Go back to when you were 6 or 7 years old and look at what did that kid like? What did he or she enjoy? What did he or she want? Get clear and be authentic, and you will find the joy that you've been seeking and searching for. So I'm not going to speak any longer. I don't like to ramble. I'm not going to do that. But I like for my messages to be impactful. One last thing I wanted to say is, living the life, your life as you choose is revolutionary. I ain't never getting away from the revolution no matter what, but that is revolutionary. Being nonconformist, being a nonconformist is revolutionary. You don't have to conform to nobody mold because it will be painful for you. So until next time, this has been Ashaki, Mayat Marimbe Ali, better known as a True Lioness. You guys have a great afternoon, rest of the week. Get ready for the weekend. Peace.